Hello, welcome to Camera Confidence, Confidence Boosts. I'm Caroline Prisabella, founder of Camera Confidence. At Camera Confidence, we help job hunters to harness hope, gain camera confidence, ace their video interviews, and get that job. Today, I wanted to share with you about crafting your masterpiece. Crafting your masterpiece. Did you know that you have a masterpiece deep inside of you that was there, placed inside of you before you were born? You have a masterpiece inside of you. Now, you might be going, well, that's a load of codswallop. I don't have a masterpiece within me. But the truth is, you do. You have a destiny. You have a future. You have something amazing to do with your future. You have unique brilliance inside of you, which is part of your masterpiece. But often we can't see the masterpiece that's inside of us. We look at all of our flaws. We look at all of our deficiencies. We look at our, you might say, oh, look at my family life. I grew up in a home which was a horrible home, or I grew up in a home where there was people that were addicted to various things, or I grew up, I didn't even have a home when I grew up. I didn't have a family. I was raised in care. You may have journeyed in life a very difficult journey. You may have had experiences throughout your life that made you believe that you do not have a masterpiece inside of you. You may look at yourself and you think, I'm too shy, I'm too this, I'm not good at public speaking, I'm not academic, I can't do things well. You may look at all of your perceived limitations. You may look at all of your flaws and say, you know what, Caroline, I do not have a masterpiece within me. And I will say to you, that is not true. Your experiences as a child really can craft and develop beliefs in your life that are not based on truth. And coming to that understanding that there's limiting beliefs that you hold about yourself. Now, they may have come from sources that made you believe that they are real and they are truth. But the truth is, you have a masterpiece deep inside of you, aside from your flaws. You have something within you that is so unique, that is so wonderful. And I encourage you to start on the journey or continue on the journey of crafting your masterpiece. Your past does not have to define your future. It does not have to define it. You have a choice. You have a choice about crafting your inner masterpiece. Don't let the things that have happened in your past to you define your future. This is so key. Michelangelo, who was a famous artist, Michelangelo in the 1500s was given the opportunity to chisel out a statue of King David. Well, I think he was about 25 years old when he was offered this opportunity. Now, before he was offered this big lump of rock, so he was given the opportunity to take this big lump of marble and create it and turn it into a masterpiece. But two people before him, I think it was about 50 years earlier, were offered that same piece of marble. And those two people rejected that piece of marble because of the flaws that were within it. Now, travel forward a number of years, Michelangelo was offered that same piece of marble with all the flaws that was in it. But he could see King David within that chunk of rock. And he then went away 2 years. He chiseled away and chiseled away in private. Apparently, he didn't let many people look at it. It didn't go on any, like the public were not allowed to look at his masterpiece while he was crafting it. He did it outside of a lot of people's sight. And then when it was ready to be unveiled, Michelangelo was asked, how did you create such an incredible masterpiece out of this flawed piece of rock, marble? And he said he saw a vision of King David inside of the rock. So inside of himself, he saw a vision of King David in there, and he chipped away at the rock until King David emerged. Wow, like what the heck? That is so powerful. And we can apply that to our own life. You know, you do have an inner masterpiece, but you have to build a vision of your inner masterpiece inside of you. And then you have to take daily steps to chisel, little chipping a little bit at a time, daily steps to chip away at your limiting beliefs, to chip away at the lies that have held your life back. Daily, you need to take active steps to create and craft your masterpiece that is inside of you. Now, the reality is you will probably have detractors around you, people that do not see the inner masterpiece that is actually in you. But this is where you need to close your ears to those detractors. If you need to remove yourself from people that do not believe in you, then I encourage you, remove yourself from them. You don't have to have friendships that put you down. You may have friendships that they are in a particular level and they can't see on the inside of them ever breaking out into another level of freedom and capacity in their lives. And so they would prefer to keep you down. So you may not have people who see that inner masterpiece within you, but this is why it is so key that you build such a clear vision of your inner masterpiece. So, and as well, you take daily steps to step into it, and you don't do it overnight. Look, Michelangelo was not, he did not create the statue of David overnight. It took him 2 years. Little chipping away. I can't even imagine where I'd start with that. But he saw the vision of the masterpiece within that marble with all of its flaws. So you look at your flaws and you think, I've got all of these flaws. I can't do any of, I have no masterpiece. Well, no. You know, I encourage you to look back on the things that as a child, when you had so much innocence about you and you hadn't been affected by the world, what were the things that you used to say? And sometimes they are a key to your inner masterpiece and to your destiny. You know, when I was a child, I used to say, I want to build an empire. I had no idea how to build an empire. But you know what? I look back at that then, and that little girl, Caroline, knew that she knew something that me for a good 20 years, 30 years ignored. You know, things would crop up. I would have these, you know, things that would crop up, but then, you know, that I'd be like, oh, I want to do that. But then all of these limiting beliefs would come, and I would then I would listen to those lies and limiting beliefs instead of moving forward. So I really hated being on camera. I used to think I'd be horrible on camera. I hid behind the camera for many years. So so I let my limiting beliefs stop the crafting of my inner masterpiece. I wish I had learnt this earlier, but the fact of the matter is, I didn't. You know, life is a journey. So I encourage you. You have an inner masterpiece that you can create and craft on the inside of you. Your life in 10 years, if you start chipping away and crafting that masterpiece within you, you'll look back in 10 years and you'll go, oh my goodness, look where I have come. I have a friend who I used to work 20 years ago in media with her, and just recently, she's 40 something, she's just gone back and studied to become a nurse. And I'm like, man, that's amazing. And so literally this week, she's just started in a new role as a nurse. And I'm like, wow, you're amazing. She saw that on the inside of her. And then she went and she moved towards that. She did the study. She did the necessary steps. And even, you know, like she's been posting on social media about her days. And, you know, it's been hard. Those first number of days as a real nurse, when she's actually employed as a nurse, she said, man, it's hard. Like, she's on a learning journey. So I encourage you, start crafting your inner masterpiece. It is within you. Start seeing the vision of your masterpiece within you. Start chipping away at those lies, the limiting beliefs that have stopped you all of these years. Have an amazing day. And remember to let your brilliance shine.